Hello, everybody. Welcome to Sportsbet TV with me, Paul Alster, looking ahead to Saturday, the 9th of August, where there's lots of racing across Britain and Ireland. I'm always looking to try and back horses at decent each way prices, and over the course of the last 5 years, we're showing an overall very, very healthy profit, even though, of course, there's always fallow periods and ups and downs, some big successes along the way, but it balances itself out overall, though, showing a nice profit. If you want to stay in touch with all my free selections, just press the subscribe button below the screen. And if you're interested in getting more selections with detailed analysis, I'm on a really good run over at my Out in Front service. And if you'd like to sign up and join, the link is available in the description box just below this screen. Now, last week, we had two runners in one race, and we split our notional stakes, and that was in the Stewards Cup. Get It, who I hoped would be blessed with fast ground, didn't get the fast ground. It didn't dry up as much as anybody expected. Far too soft for him, and although he showed a lot of pace as usual, he was basically wheel spinning in the last two furlongs, and Patsy Cosgrave allowed him to coast home. Who knows, he may even run next time in the Nunthorpe, and if it's fast ground over 5, stranger things have happened. Our other choice was Run Boy Run, recommended at 22 to 1 each way. And Run Boy Run ran a cracker to be 4 for the each way money for Richard Spencer, who, of course, really had a day to remember as his other runner, Two Tribes, came home in front, whilst his third runner also ran a big one to be 5th. So a brilliant day, fantastic training performance from Richard Spencer last week. Run Boy Run doing us proud, 22 to 1 each way for the place. Now, I've got one selection for you on Saturday. It is in the Showgirl Cup that is taking place at Ascot. This, of course, an international jockeys challenge. It's a kind of a team event. It's not always one that I like to get too involved in. I'll be quite honest with you. You're getting jockeys that are unfamiliar with horses, are very, more often than not riding for the first time. You're also getting some jockeys that have never ridden at these tracks, in particular here at Ascot. So there's quite a lot of variables, but the final race on Showgirl Cup Day is the 4:30, the Showgirl Cup Mile. It's forecast, excuse me, to be good to firm, good in places, and there'll be 10 runners. Now, Urban Lion is trained by Jack Shannon. Now, he's the early 7-2 favourite on the Friday lunchtime prices, and he's going to be partnered by the world-class Australian jockey Hugh Bowman, who also rides out in Hong Kong, I think. Now, this 4-year-old has been in fine form this season. He's won at Chelmsford in February and then again at Sandown in June. Really versatile horse. Most recently ran a really good race to be 5th of 30 runners in the Royal Hunt Cup at Royal Ascot. And that was on the straight mile at Ascot just over 7 weeks ago. He deserved his break after that, so should be fresh now and well. So I think Urban Lion has every chance. Misinformation is trained by Andrew Balding. She's also won twice this term, most notably, of course, her penultimate start when she beat 22 rivals to land the Kensington Palace handicap at Royal Ascot in June on the straight mile. She was raised £6 for that and then failed to fire at Newmarket last time off her current mark. This return to Ascot is a plus, although, of course, it's a different challenge now because they race on the round mile, not the straight mile, for this Showgirl Cup race. So we'll have to see how she fares. Now, the Swedish champion rider Per Anders Gråberg partners the very consistent handicapper EBT's Guard for the training partnership of William Muir and Chris Grassick. And I think he'll enjoy a good ride on this gelding, who's really tough. And he again ran really well last time when beaten only a length on soft ground at Glorious Goodwood last week in the valuable Golden Mile. He found only soft ground specialist Ross Collin too good for him there. Now, assuming that big effort hasn't taken too much out of him, he's going to be a player again off a £2 higher mark because, of course, goes on just about any ground. Tanis Evolveri for Richard Hannon is another solid performer, but he's looked to be in the handicapper's clutches this season despite a series of sound efforts, while the first-time cheek pieces might just persuade William Haggas's Treasured Time to return to his best after a couple of lacklustre runs of late, and it does his chance no harm at all. That local star, Holly Doyle, is going to be on board Treasured Time. But for my selection, I turn to Arasaig for Charlie Johnston and Robbie Dolan. This horse has ground conditions to suit, unlike at Glorious Goodwood last week, when the deluge turned the conditions soft and she was reluctantly declared a non-runner for the Golden Mile, in which EBT's Guard finished second. Now, hopefully, the patience of her connections can now be rewarded, especially if she can reproduce her last effort, which was a really good second to Classic in the valuable Coral Challenge over a mile at Sandown on Eclipse Day last month. This four-time winner has been creeping up the weights this term after a series of good runs without getting ahead in front. But my feeling is that she still has plenty to offer. And with the Melbourne Cup winning rider Robbie Dolan, who of course started out as an apprentice in Ireland, went over to Australia, was a big hit on The Voice, believe it or not, in Australia, and then won on a 90 to 1 shot in the Melbourne Cup in November of last year. I think that Arasake, with Robbie Dolan on board, looks the value in the race at 9 to 1 each way on offer at the time of this recording, with both Ladbrokes and Coral. So it's Arasake for me in the last race of the Showgirl Cup on Saturday, and I hope it runs really well for us. Remember, if you want more selections and plenty of good analysis, then you can click on the link in the description box to join me at Out in Front, where we had a very profitable Glorious Goodwood. I'm happy to say it was glorious. I'll be back same time next week, but until then, best of luck this weekend. Bye for now.